So you've got your structure drawn. You should have a front and back panel and then your two side panels. Now you may have drawn all four panels, which is perfectly fine, but I'm only going to show you how to print two at a time, so you can just replicate these steps on that process. So notice I've got them lined up over here on the side, and I've got them spaced equally apart and relatively close because it's going to make it easier to print. And then what I'm going to do is go down here to the bottom of the screen to where it says layout, and that takes me to a layout page. Here you can see that I have my layout already set up. Yours is not going to look like this. Yours is more than likely going to look like this. So what you are seeing is you have a viewport right here in the middle, and you're seeing the drawing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the viewport itself, and I'm going to put it in a layer. Now I made a layer called viewport and made it gray. Remember, you go to layer properties, and here's where you can create new layers. So I made a layer called viewport, and I made it a gray color. Line type doesn't really matter, but I did put it so it would not print. That just makes it easier. One less box to print out on the piece of paper. So if you're not, if I went through this too fast and you're not sure, go to the tutorial page and look at how to create layers. There's a video all about it. So I put that in the viewport layer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to drag it just beyond the dotted lines. That kind of marks the end of my print area. Do not drag it off the paper, because one of the weird things about viewports is if you don't have any white space here, you're going to really hate yourself at some point, because it's going to make things harder. So if I click inside the viewport twice, there we go, see how the line suddenly becomes really dark? And then if I go out here on the white edge and click, see how it stays really light? When I double click inside of it, I'm actually activating the drawing. So I can go down here and I can turn off the grid because I don't want to print my grid, and then I can zoom in and out. So what I want you to do is kind of get your stuff so it's kind of centered in there. Don't worry about the size, just kind of get it so it's centered in the viewport. And then we're going to click out of the viewport again. And if I'm going too fast, you know how to pause the video. Then I'm going to click the viewport. I'm not going to click in it. I'm going to click the line that makes up. I'm going to right click, go to quick properties, and right here where it says, this little window should come up, where it says custom scale, standard scale, I'm going to pick 1:1. That means it's going to print this off at the exact scale you drew it, which means it should be the right size. Okay? And then you'll just kind of escape out of that. And then you may have to double click in the viewport and center it a little better so that you can see it. Then click out of the viewport and then go to the big A and print. We need to print to P1. So M-H103-P1. I know I've got a lot of extra stuff. Yours shouldn't have this many. So go to MHS LH103P1, and you're printing the layout, and you're just going to hit OK. I'm going to hit preview so you can see what prints. So this is what I'm going to get, and this is actually what you're going to build on. Once you have a printout, then you're going to come find the instructor, and he will give you extra instructions. Good luck.